All right, anybody watching? Thank you for joining. Today we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine that came out this past weekend. But first of all, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, my friend. Thank you very much for letting me join you again as always. And it's sweltering here in the UK in that lot, so yeah, I'm melting slightly.
Well, hopefully that is not like affecting, I guess, the thoughts this stream, because there's a lot to go through. But yeah, anyone that's here, I see we got Rez in the chat. Thank you for joining, Rez.
Brilliant, bless
I
you.
hope you have seen Deadpool, or you're fine with us talking spoilers, because this is a spoiler review. So if you are at all worried about getting, the experience ruined for you, then you should probably tap out now until you've seen it. So yeah, we're gonna get into some spoiler territory with Deadpool and Wolverine. I saw it the Friday night, and I saw it last night for a second time. I know you saw it the Thursday midnight showing.
Yeah, midnight showing. It was absolutely fantastic. And a lot, and the crowd, the theatre was packed. The crowd was very what's the word? Up for it, sort of thing. So yeah, it was such a good showing, that lot.
Yeah, like the Friday night was packed. As the day went yesterday on the Sunday, like the more seats were getting taken, so it was getting packed up throughout the day. Oh, you did see the movie, Rez? Okay, that's good.
Oh, brilliant! That's all right.
Let us know what you thought of it in the comments too.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Let us know, like as we're going through things, like what you thought of what we're talking about. So before we get started, though, it's no secret that on Saturday night, Marvel Studios had their San Diego Comic-Con panel and revealed some pretty big reveals, let's just say. I did a stream on my channel. If you didn't watch that, you can see my reaction to all the crazy things that happened that night, and Dwayne was in the chat as well. But I think the biggest question that I've got for the icebreaker question is, what are your thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. coming back in the MCU as Dr. Doom?
I thought I'd bring out the signed autograph. Now I've got
Nice.
RDJ, bless him, but I honestly ain't got a bleeding clue. I'm in shock. I'm in awe. I'm buzzing for it, but I'm also scared for it. I was gobsmacked, absolutely gobsmacked. When you was on your stream, I was flicking through Twitter at the same time, Outlaw, and I seen it was Doomsday, and I saw your reaction. I was like, "Yeah, bless him,
I was out of my seat. I was out of my seat.
Absolutely loving it." And then I kept on scrolling, and it was Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, "Oh, he's not seen it. He's not seen. Oh my God, he's not seen us." And then I was like, obviously messaging in the group chat, and then you saw it, and then your face was just a picture, and I was like, I literally don't know what they're going to do. I know in the comics that he's been like a variant of Doctor Doom, or I think like switch minds or something like that, like Spider-Man's done with Doc Ock and stuff. So is it something like that sort of thing where like he's going to be from this, like, Robbie Downey Jr. Doc Ock's going to be from another universe, and then when he come here, he's going to get killed off, and there's going to be another Doctor Doom or something. I literally ain't got a clue. It's a very risky move.
It is definitely a risk.
It's very risky.
Yeah, definitely a huge risk, because that, like, you ended Iron Man on such a high note. This has a chance of completely undoing that and bringing it into a new character who, like myself, everyone is super hyped for him coming to the MCU as an authentic Victor Von Doom. And now you've got the actor that played the iconic Iron Man for over 10 years playing him. And that's going to cause a lot of weird reactions. Like, you can... Obviously, people were, like, cheering and, like, in complete shock when he pulled the mask off on stage. But you
seen some of the videos of the reactions where somebody's saying behind is like, "Oh, it's going to be Jared Leto."
Yeah, I saw that.
What was the other?
Ben Affleck. I saw
Ben Affleck. That was it. Yeah.
Because the Russos were saying we got to have the greatest actor in the world, and someone's like, Ben Affleck, like. That was a bit of a reach. Like, he's a great actor, but But yeah, like, as soon as I saw that, I just had an instant reaction of, really? Like, that's the
honestly,
choice?
watching your reaction on that live stream, your face was just a pit. It's like you was jumping out of your seat, Doomsday and that lot, and then when you realised, it sort of like hit you like a brick wall, and
for sure.
Bless you, honestly.
Now,
I just wanted to.
I do have. I'm cautiously optimistic because the Russos love that story so much. Yeah. I think they won't do the character without them doing it right. Yeah. And there's no doubt that Robert Downey Jr. will be good in the role. I just don't know how does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
You need to piece it all together perfectly in order to win the audience on that. Because I'm not, we're mixed on it, and we're not the only ones that are mixed at all. Some people absolutely hate it. Some people
I've seen that. Yeah.
Some people are mixed, and some people love it. So they need to really bring all of us together and say, this is Doctor Doom. And the only downside is it's like Doomsday's in 2 years. They're going to rush through all of that. And that's a risk too, because he's one you build up for years.
Oh, massively. Yeah. And it's like, you can't... They're going to rush him up to his downfall, obviously, in Secret Wars. It's not a long period of time to really build a character up and make him that feared sort of thing, like Thanos was. He had, 8, 9, 10 odd years of building Thanos up to that immense threat. You're going to rush it in
that's
3-4 years.
3 years with Doom. Yeah. If they end him in Secret Wars, that's 3 years with him when he should be way longer than that.
Yeah, exactly, Anna. And it's not like you could take him past Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is an ending, and you need him to end really there. So it's really risky. All this comes down to
direction.
Jonathan Majors pissing around with Kang. If that never happened, we could have got a proper Doom later down the line, and we'd have had a proper finish for Kang. But now, by the sounds of it, what I can make out is Kang was basically done out by Ant-Man.
The Russos said that RDJ is playing Victor, so that's the weird thing is is he the Victor to Pedro Pascal's Reed, or is he just Victor from another universe that somehow ties into it? Like, they have to bring him in Fantastic Four to get that build-up started, because they can't wait any longer, or they're just going to completely fumble it.
Yeah. So they can't even bring him. You can't really bring him in Captain America: Brave New World either, because it just won't make no sense.
It's too late.
So it's So it's got to be Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
got to be.
But yeah, we can definitely cover all of this in another stream. I'm sure that'll be the next one.
Yes, definitely.
Reviewing the Marvel panel. So let's get into Deadpool. All right, so I think we're going to start off kind of how you structured it in your own review on Marvel Mad's channel. So you guys talked about the cameos first. So was it less or was it more than what you expected?
Oh, way more than what I expected.
Really?
Obviously, yeah, like you said, that last week before it came out, it was like, don't see the trailer, spoilers it all and stuff like that sort of thing. And all I'd seen was Lady Deadpool coming out of the portal and that sort of thing. So that I was a bit annoyed with, and I was a bit like, you could have saved that till the film had come out sort of thing. But after seeing it, that like trailer did nothing to spoil it for me at all and that lot. And with the trailers, with the cameos that was in it, I was buzzing. Like, the cinema would like sort of basically erupted for Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, same.
And then it's about erupted for Channing Tatum as well. I was about punching the air when I seen Wesley Snipes. I was like, yes! I've wanted a blade bleeding cameo for years in that line. It finally got it. I was absolutely buzzing. And then Channing Tatum as well in that line. Just seeing him as Gambit, I was like, right, I'll have a Gambit film now. Thank you very much. Yeah, just
he looks it. Yeah. He can't act it though. He cannot act it. There's like no way. Like they even poke fun at that, like the dialect coach. Like,
yeah.
They like, and it makes sense. Like, he's not the actor that would kind of do that, but obviously he'd been in the running for so long to be that character.
Oh yeah.
I just see Rez. You said the Cavalrine. Yeah, that was a huge shock.
Oh yeah. That my cinema went bleeding mad. I was like, oh, and I turned to Shayna, who my brother, who watched it with me and that, and I was like, yeah, I take him as Wolverine as well. He's mine. I love that as a Wolverine. And Deadpool's line when he says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll look after you," better than them people down the street.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Literally, the cinema erupted in laughter with something like that. Oh, so good.
Now,
so good.
Before we get more into the cameos, I just want to say the whole sequence when he's looking for Wolverine, like all the different versions they show, that whole sequence was so well done. Like, you start with the short Wolverine from the comics. That's something I wasn't expecting at all, because it's just his face, and then you see the face on the tiny body, and I was like, whoa, okay, there's no way they just did that. And then it's the Age of Apocalypse one in the alley. That's the one with the like huge mane. And then there's the one where he falls onto the like sea of skulls and he's like crucified on X. That's an iconic.
I've seen the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the comic where it's compared to that.
Yeah, that's Uncanny X-Men 251.
Wow.
I just had it pulled up there for reference because I wanted to mention that. And then the John Byrne one when he's in the brown and yellow, and then he has the claws and the Hulk's reflection. That was like the comic cover, and it's Mark Ruffalo's Hulk from Ragnarok. That's the same model that they used. So that was really cool. I think that was all the Wolverine ones, and then he stumbles on the one that we're with for the rest of the movie.
And obviously, I think it was like after that, the Wolverine one, after the Hulk one, is obviously the Cavalrine. Yeah.
And then he's punched into the bar after that. So, yeah, that whole sequence was so well done. Like, it's like the amount of comic accurateness that they put in it, just honoring, the different iterations of the character while we're finally getting to the one in the blue and yellow. I thought that was really well done.
I like as well when he's like he pulls his shirt up, doesn't he, like, and sees the suit underneath.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, what kind of jammies have you got?" That only took them 20 years. Like, and then he looks at the camera, like, it's like you're not embarrassed to be in a superhero movie anymore. It's like it doesn't make any sense why it took that long, but at least we got it now.
Some of the lines in that like sequence as well, and that like, as he's saying to each one, that lot, just so good, well written, so well written. That lot, it's brilliant.
So yeah, for the cameos, the first major one we get is of course Chris Evans. I had a feeling like you don't see him at first, but when you hear his voice, I was like, was that?
Sounds familiar. That does.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar. And then he drops and takes the hood off. And obviously they have the red on the arm to kind of fake you out and think it's a version of Captain America. And I was like, I don't know if I believe that. That has to be Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And then when he's about to flame on, but Deadpool's like, oh, he's gonna say it, Avengers, and he goes flame on, and he like goes up. I was like, yeah, they did it. They actually did it.
As soon as I seen it was Chris Evans, I'm turning to Shane and I'm like, it's not who you think it is. It's not my boy. It's not you watch. And then they did it, and then just Deadpool's reaction as well. And I was just like, yes, they did it. It's Johnny Storm.
Yeah, and then Pyro absorbing all the flame, and then he just falls, and then it was like, we don't know who he is.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, the way they did Johnny was really well done, and then they kind of make him an asshole in the end, and like make.
I was when he was like supposed to be saying all that stuff, and then obviously you see the post credit scene as well. I'm sat there like, I know he's a bit of a dick, but I can't remember being that much of a dick that lot, unless these voids like really messed him up. But it was still really good that lot. So.
Yeah, and then the next one, I think is we see the inside of Cassandra's compound, and there's Juggernaut, Azazel, Lady Deathstrike, Toad, obviously Sabretooth is killed right away. I thought that fight was going to last for a bit, but I guess it was just one swipe, and then that was it.
Yeah. As soon as I'd seen the, what's it called? Like the pictures of him holding his head and stuff like that, I just knew that was just straight gone as well. I wanted to mention as well that we also got patches, didn't we?
That's true, yeah, completely forgot about that. Yeah.
But I was gutted it wasn't Daniel Radcliffe. I really wanted a Daniel Radcliffe patches. I think that'd have been funny as out as well, to be honest.
Now, it would have been funny if each one that he went to was a different actor, because I know it's been a huge internet meme that Danny DeVito will play Wolverine. They could have done the short one as Danny DeVito getting off the chair. Like, you only see him from the back. You see the hair. Yeah. And then he turns around and it's Danny DeVito. I think everyone would have lost it more on that one than seeing Hugh Jackman's face on a tiny body.
But
yeah, and then,
I was also gutted that Kevin Nash didn't play the Russian.
Right, that's another one.
Cassandra's Conround, which I was really gutted about, and then obviously not Johnny Vegas, Vin Diesel. Oh, what's his name? Played Juggernaut.
Vinnie Jones,
that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
I was really gutted he weren't the Juggernaut as well. And I'd really like to have seen, if you're going to bring him back, come on, you got enough money in that lot, just pay him.
Now, there's one that they don't say her, but it's Psylocke, the purple hair, and then she pulls X-23 later on, and then they don't really show him, but there's a shot of Cassandra, I think, when you're first introduced to her, and there's someone in a black leather coat, and they've got the bullseye marking on their head. And I thought, is that supposed to be Bullseye from Daredevil? That. But it's not Colin Farrell. It's like they recast him.
I didn't realize that.
He does have the bullseye on his forehead, and he's wearing the black coat. So I was like, if that's who that's supposed to be, that's cool, but it wouldn't be obvious because it's not Colin Farrell.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I didn't realise that, to be honest. That was one I missed.
And then, I think that's all those from the compound. And then, obviously, we got Jennifer Garner back as Elektra. That one, I kind of knew was coming because I know she was asked, I forget what movie she was promoting, but they were asking, are you in Deadpool and Wolverine? And she was like, can't really say anything. Maybe. And then it was basically, she's
there wasn't really much reaction when Elektra come out and last in him. It was more like,
oh, okay,
sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, okay, and then
Wesley Snipes got in, and I was like, oh my god, oh shit, they did it. And then and then Gambit walks in, and then everyone's like, okay, we don't know who that is, but let's clap anyway.
Honestly, when Gambit come in, the place it's so good. It was so good, and then obviously X-23.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like another, and sort of quiet,
Well, that was the more dramatic one because she walks in and it's instantly Deadpool's like, this is the one I told you about, Logan. This is the one that you saved in my world. That kind of thing. And she was so good in it. Like,
oh, yeah.
And I'm so glad like they carried on bringing her into that universe because now you get Laura and you get Logan together. Oh, I can't wait to see them kick ass together. And like, if she gets the yellow suit too, like that's gonna be crazy.
That'd be so cool to see. That would.
Yeah.
Just seeing them both fight side by side as well. Now that'd be
Yeah, because she has a yellow suit in the comics too. So if they both, obviously Logan's gonna need an upgrade after the last fight, but it would be so cool if we get them together, like on screen doing the claw pose. That'd be so cool.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we get that in Logan, but they're not in the suits.
Yeah.
And
see, you sort of you get them sort of fighting in this as well, but it's not. It wouldn't be the same as both suited up, booted, like together properly together, sort of thing.
And when they're all getting out of the van at the very end, and Laura puts on the sunglasses, I think I was the only one that really reacted to that. I was like, "Yeah, they did it! They did it!"
Yeah.
Like I thought that was good.
When they were sat with Shane and they're all getting out of the car and they're all stood in front of him and they're doing like that superhero sort of like thingy, that like pose and that like Shaney literally just turned around and went, superhero pose, like it, it's good.
And just when you mentioned that, I think we've covered all the cameos. The entire opening sequence was so well done.
So funny.
Like him digging up Logan and then he's like, God damn it, like you son of a bitch. Like, You're supposed to be alive, that kind of thing. And then he's like talking to him and then TVA arrive and then just all out carnage on them. And the way they did the opening credits at the same time was so good. And then the dancing and all that, it was so well done.
Honestly, when that music come up and like, me and Shane, you're sitting there going like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And just all the chaos was going up. It was just so good. And then obviously at the end of the little fight scene, he's got Wolverine's things on his hands and he does the sort of thing and then gets stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny. I honestly,
really
that
like
opening action scene.
When the guy, like the main TVA like commander, basically, he says, "You're like one of the worst things to come out of Canada," and he pulls out the katana and he flips it and it goes right into his mouth like so fast. And he says, "Get my country's name out of your mouth," and he pulls it out. Like my theater erupted because obviously we're Canadian, so we're like
Canada,
yeah. So it was like, yeah, that's right, Deadpool. That's exactly what you should have done.
You tell him.
But yeah, that whole sequence was so good. What was the next topic that you had after cameos? What was that?
The story.
Story?
About the story, not that.
So at first, like obviously you have the opening, and then it's all the flashbacks to him trying to be in the Avengers. That was one I wasn't expecting as well. Happy Hogan.
Yeah, Happy Hogan as well.
Yeah.
Not expecting that in the slightest and everything. Like when he was saying, "Oh, don't need do cameos anymore." I mean appointments. Not.
Yeah. And then he's like, he said something like, "We protect the world," like he's like in the Avengers, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were an Avenger." And he's like, "Well, Avengers adjacent, like it's kind of like a all together thing."
He's like, "What's your superpower? What's your superpower?"
Parallel parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, my theater lost it on that. But yeah.
Obviously, again, I sort of didn't. It was more of like I was like a sort of surprise, like, and then sort of thing. And then obviously the laughter come on with like the innuendos about, "Oh well, where's Tony that like? Why ain't he here doing it?" and that sort of thing.
No, that was like 1 month before Infinity War too, because that was like March.
Yeah, because March 14th. I was trying to figure out the dates.
March 14th, 2018. So that was like right before.
I was trying to figure out the dates, and I'm like, is he still around? Is he still alive? No, I'm like thinking about it. I was like, it must be another, because obviously it's before the snap, so he's got to be thereabouts sort of thing.
Now, for the story, I think they did a really good job at obviously bringing Wolverine back, but also giving a huge like human story for Deadpool, like trying to matter in a world and prove himself to like the people around him, because obviously like Vanessa dumped him and he's kind of in a weird spot in his life, and he wants to matter in his universe, and then when he learns it's dying, he's like, well, I can't lose the people that I care for, and this will prove to them that, like, I do have a purpose, that kind of thing. And through that, when he's going through Wolverine's backstory and why everyone hates him and all that, then he realizes he's not alone, that like, this guy that he's obviously idolized in a meta way, like, he's going through a similar thing, and they can both redeem themselves in this moment together and saving Wade's universe. And I thought they just did that so well, and the two of them, like, their dynamic back and forth, like the scenes of them good. After they escape the compound and they're trying to figure out what to do, I thought that was so good. And then Dogpool runs in, and then anytime Dogpool's there and Wolverine's just like, I just get the dog out of here, let's just get like, what we need to keep moving, we need to keep moving, just forget about the dog.
I think I was really surprised with how much of sort of heart there was behind it, because I wasn't expecting. There was a ton. Yeah, I wasn't expecting so much, like, caring and, like, having that, like, it was like a proving yourself for Deadpool, but it was like a redemption arc for Wolverine. Yeah, and it's just sort of like climax right at the perfect time, and it was just really nice to see them, like, care, and it weren't still going to be laughing and joking and F-bombs and shit like that sort of thing.
Chaos.
It was, it weren't just all that. There was a proper heartfelt story behind it, and I was really, really impressed by that sort of thing, because they could have just done how the other two Deadpool's films have been, and just all nuts and just cameos and chaos and stuff. But to have a genuine heartfelt story behind it, and obviously we'll get to the closing credit scene as well, because that had me in tears. I lost it at that bit, but it was just nice. It really was nice. To me, even though obviously you had the digging up Logan's corpse and, like, messing that up, I think it was a proper nice way of saying goodbye to Fox, basically. Yeah, and
that's what this, like, movie
looking
was.
Forward to what, and looking forward to what the MCU can have with the mutants now and stuff. It was really nice. So. Yeah,
like, you mentioned, like, the amount of heart in it, and that's what Sean Levy does really well. Is he does have these kind of, like, goofy, like, movies, and, like, it doesn't seem like there would be a lot of heart in it, but there's, like, a deeper story to it, and it really does pull at you. Like, the one he did before this, was it Free Guy or the Adam Project?
I think it might have been the Adam Project, because I remember Free Guy was first, and the Adam Project weren't too far along with Netflix, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. So that one had a lot of heart in it too, and, like, you wouldn't have expected it, and it does pull at you. Free Guy has elements of it, like all of his other past movies, like Real Steel, even the Night at the Museum movies. That was a really good one. They kind of have an element of heart in it, but, like, rewatching it the second time, like the first time I reacted this way too, but when they're at the core of the Time Ripper and Deadpool's got the cord and he's reaching out, and then Wolverine, like, grabs his hand and sticks the claws in, and they're all, like, taking in that energy. Obviously his shirt explodes and he's like, oh, look at that, like, abs, like, the theater lost it on that. But that entire sequence where they're, like, having their inner, like, monologue, like, Deadpool's like, I'm doing this for Vanessa, I'm doing this for my family, and then Wolverine's doing it like, I'm doing this for the X-Men, I am the X-Man, and I'm the freaking Wolverine. Like, this is why I was getting choked up in that moment. And the music too, the music is so powerful in that scene. With the,
I think a lot of the music in this, even though it was like a lot of, like, P-takes and stuff like that sort of thing, of, like, different sort of songs, even, like, the music just so good, so well done again, that lot. So,
but even, like, I don't know if it's, like, an official version of is it Like a Prayer from Madonna?
Yeah,
like, they have a whole, like, choir, like, rendition of it, and it's so powerful in that moment when each of them are having their individual moments of what they're doing this for, and they give each other that look, and they're like, this is what we have to do. And then that shot going around them, and then, like, their heads start, like, going all over the place, and Cassandra explodes. I just thought that whole moment was so, like, full of emotion, and like I got choked up both times when that scene was on. Like
it's so powerful. I really was expecting. I was like, that's it. They're going to kill him off, and then they're not actually going to come back. They're not going to come back. And I was like, I couldn't like work it out. I was like, no, they can't. I know they're trying to prove a point and be like, there'd be the whole heroic sort of thing, but I was really I was getting gutted, and I was like, no, don't kill him off, no, please.
Like in that moment, you're like, this is Deadpool, and this is the freaking Wolverine. Like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. You can't replace him. This is the Wolverine. No. Like in that moment, 100%. I'm like, this is 25 years of him in the role, and this is. I'm trying to do some math here. This is 20 years of me experiencing him in the role.
Yeah.
And it's all led to this moment where he's finally with Deadpool, and he's doing the full on like heroic sacrifice thing.
Yeah.
So it was like the guy I grew up with as Wolverine, like it was getting me emotional. But yeah, like the two of them are obviously the standout in the movie, and
massively.
Like their real life friendship adds to this so well. Like I think if they weren't friends, you wouldn't feel that connection the same way.
No.
But they're like brothers basically. Like they love each other in real life, and they obviously like use that to fuel those emotional moments in this movie.
Oh, massively now, and it's just so powerful how they combined it so well together, and it was just nice that you could feel how they wanted to like help each other out in the end, but also like properly redeem themselves and
through the risks
they cared about each other. Yeah.
And it was just a really well done story. Obviously there's a lot of fan service in it too, but like just the two of them were so good in it, and I really hope that it's not too long until we see them the next time. I really hope there's like some project before Avengers Doomsday that brings them back in some way, and you know, maybe they pop up in a post-credit scene somewhere, and hopefully we see them again, because like
we know he's got at the TVA apparatus thing now as well, and everything, don't we? Yeah, and obviously, was it? Is her name B something?
Hunter B-15.
That's the one. Yeah, obviously she says, "Oh, you've helped stop her." Basically, like an incursion into sort of thing. They've helped stop that timeline eroding, and it's now it's strong. So I think you'll be like called upon in the future, sort of thing. So you obviously know there will be somewhere or another sort of thing. So I hope you have some, I don't know, daft at the end of bloody Fantastic Four, some daft like that sort of thing, or just something you want them to. It's got to be for me, if they're going to come into another thingy before Doomsday, it's got to be a post-credit scene or something, just as a we're here now. We're in the sacred timeline. What's all that? What's happening here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and it's like Galactus or something like that. Or
this is the other thing. So this movie doesn't explicitly put them in our universe, like the one that we've been with the whole time. They are in the MCU, but they're in a different timeline, like a different Earth. They're like Earth 10005 or something.
Yeah.
And it's like they acknowledge they're in the MCU, but what makes this story stand out, and I'm kind of glad they did this, because I was hoping that post-credit scene would link it to our universe in some way, like they're actually in it now. But it works best that it's like an individual story in that universe.
Oh yeah. Massively.
And like at first I was kind of like, okay, that was the post-credit scene. Like it was still really well done, but I was like, I'm really surprised they didn't link it. But watching it the second time, I'm like, it was perfect the way they did it. They didn't need to link it at all, because even Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds, when they were discussing it, they wanted it to be a standalone story in the MCU, but not explicitly linked to anything else. Like you didn't need to do any homework leading up to this or anything like that.
No. I say you had that bit right at the beginning where they're in the sacred timeline and he's talking to Happy Hogan and stuff, and then obviously he gets sent back to his normal one. So it was just nice nice. Like he acknowledged it all throughout the movie. Obviously, screw you, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah, that was good.
And that got a big reaction from the cinema I was in. What was the other one as well? Not a lot. It was when they both land on the car and they've jumped through the
Oh yeah,
Mystic Portal world, because that was quite.
he's going to be
clever as
doing
well,
this till he's 90.
Yeah, that line got a massive reaction. But that bit as well with how Cassandra's killed Doctor Strange.
Yeah, true.
He's left his sling ring. That was really clever because obviously everybody thought that's the portal that's going to jump them through to the MCU version of that. So to have that just take them back to their world, I thought that was really cleverly well done, sort of thing, and something that I wasn't expecting. I know they wanted to get back to their universe, but obviously, and you was expecting it in the cinema when you was there. But when you've seen it on the trailers and stuff, that was like, well, there's the link to the MCU. That's the portal going to take them to their sort of thing. So I thought that was really well done. But it was just nice, just to have it as its own entity, and then like down the line, even though they're not in the MCU, they are in the MCU sort of thing, and they're gonna call upon them at the most important time sort of thing. And that's where he can prove himself to be an Avenger and stuff like that.
Yeah, and obviously they hint at something happening down the road with Deadpool and Thor, and it's kind of like a running thing throughout the movie.
Right.
But
do you think that is something then? I think that's just nothing. I just think that's a daft thing. Do you think that's actually going to be a thing?
A part of me thinks it is, and a part of me thinks it isn't. Like, it might just be like something that, like, obviously it's hinting towards a crossover event with all of them.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this in my stream on Saturday, but Thor's eyes are like the different colors. It's like after Infinity War when he got the new eye, that's what he's got. And originally, everyone thought that scene was supposed to mirror the Dark World when Loki's dying in Thor's arms, and it was Deadpool instead. But Paradox says
that's what I took from it. That's what I took from it, to be honest.
But Paradox says it's in the distant future, and he's not supposed to see it yet. So that means it's just something that they did, so like it adds some kind of like I like this is coming like down the road, that kind of thing, or it's supposed to be like he's not supposed to see it yet because like something big is going to happen that will thrust them into that moment. But at this moment, I don't think it means much.
No, myself, when I first saw that, I was like, that's a good gag. That's a good reference to, obviously, Thor the Dark World, because obviously that didn't get well received sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was quite a nice little like wink and nudge to, wouldn't it be better if that was Deadpool and that sort of thing. That's what I took from it anyway. So I can't see that being something down the line, because it didn't even look like Chris Hemsworth to me. It looked like it was Matt Damon.
It was Chris Hemsworth, but I don't know how they altered his face like to have the eyes, and he kind of looked a bit different from what I remember in the Dark World. So maybe they, like, he says he didn't even reshoot anything, like he wasn't on the set at all. So they manipulated it in some way that it looks a little bit different, but I'm not sure exactly what they did. What did you think of the whole like role the TVA played? Like, obviously they're kind of like an offshoot of the main TVA, trying to like carry on the old TVA's ways and, you know, pruning timelines and that, compared to the new standards that they have where they're like, we don't do that anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I quite liked that, because I was worried that when you first see the TVA and its Paradox and they're trying to like keep up the old sort of like ways of it, I was like, but that's not how you left it in Loki. So why are you?
And this is the first that we see them after Loki changes everything.
Yeah, this is what I mean. And I was like, why would they revert back to that sort of thing? And then obviously find out it's like a underground group offshoot that not really telling the higher up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought, when you found that bit out, then you was like, oh right, okay, then this is not how they've gone on, and this is just a dickhead group basically trying to keep the old ways up sort of thing, which I thought was really good. And it was, I don't know, I can't really print like word it right, but it was a nice surprise to have them have like a bad version still within the
Yeah.
TVA and that sort of thing. So I think they did it really well in that. Like, it was well received in my theatre anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the guy that like keeps wanting to check out Deadpool, like when that whole thing, like he's falling in love with him. Like every time it focused on him, it was like the theater was laughing the whole time.
Yeah,
that was happening.
It's like when he's like falling in it. It looks like he's gonna grab his arse.
And he's like, "Oh my
god!"
like,
disappears.
it's happening. Yeah. And then at the end, when Wolverine's got no shirt on, and then he gives him the mask, and he's like, "Okay." and then Deadpool says something like, "Oh, don't need to worry, we're all fine." And the woman's like, "Oh yeah, we're fine now."
Oh yeah. He's like, his reaction is like, "Oh, for God's sake, come on! I'm not supposed to do that." And he's like, "Well, yeah, if I did it on my own, I would be dead, but because my buddy here helped me, and that, like, we're all right now." I thought that was really well done as well. I thought that was really clever. So like,
yeah,
if it like just to say that's how they survived, sort of thing. Because as soon as it was all over and it was all dead, I was sat there about in tears, like, "That's it. That's it. They're gone now." And then you hear his voice and they come through. And I was like, "Yes!" And there was like the cheer. It wasn't like a cheer. There was like a laughter, sort of like a whoop in our theatre when they come out. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm happy now. That was good. That is good."
Yeah.
That is.
Like they definitely tease that they could die, but in a way you're also like, come on, it's Deadpool. Like he's gonna have some kind of way. But yeah, just overall the whole story was really good. Now let's talk about Cassandra Nova.
How did you think was? I was about to say Cassandra.
Okay.
No, literally saying that.
She was a really good villain. It was like very refreshing that like I can't remember the last time we had a good villain in a movie in the MCU. It might have been High Evolutionary in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I think it was, to be honest.
But like she was really good. She definitely had a motivation. And she was very comic accurate in terms of her origin with Charles in the womb, strangling him with the umbilical cord.
How she describes that. Yeah, how does she describes that so good.
Yeah, and then obviously she's banished to the void, and she builds her own empire there and vows to get revenge on Charles for forgetting about her and not caring enough to come back to save her. And then she's like, wait, if he doesn't care about me, but I know all these other timelines are out there, and Charles is out there, I'll just destroy all of them, so the void is the only one that remains where I'm in charge, basically. I thought that was really, really good, how they did that. When I watched your review, and I think it was Shane said that it's kind of like a cliche, like, villain thing. It in a way it is, because it's kind of like, I'm going to destroy everything, and so I'm the only one that stands alone. But the way they executed it was done really well for this. For
Jesus.
For her, like, I said this after I saw it. I was like, if they wanted to and take a huge risk for Secret Wars, they could have made her the main villain in Secret Wars in destroying all the timelines.
Yeah.
But
massively.
That would be like a huge 180 on fans, and they'd be like, okay, this is a huge disappointment, that kind of thing. But
I don't think it would have been.
Been
I'd have took it. Yeah, I'd have took it all day long now. Because I tell you, like I say, when you saw our review now, like, her power when she's putting her fingers.
That was so well done. The effects of that, like when her fingers are running behind Paradox's eyes, and when her finger goes behind, his eye jumps out, and then when it moves past, it jumps back in. It was so well done. Like, and like she was definitely intimidating when she does that. She gets in your head, and she's like very manipulative, especially with Wolverine when he's seeing all the tombstones of the mutants, and then she's like, you can have anything you want here. You don't, like, you are free in the void. You can be the true Wolverine. And then obviously he fights back, but I thought she was really well done, and it's a shame that she was offed, like, basically right away. Like, we're not going to see her again. But she was really well done for this movie. She did exactly what she needed to do. She was super powerful, and I think they did a really good job, and she was great playing her too.
Oh yeah, massive. And I was really appreciative of how comic accurate
they were.
Oh yeah. I say, just how well she was doing, and it was just all like so good, so good in that lot. And to say it's her powers and how it was just all of it, all her thing was just fantastic for me in that line. And I couldn't have seen a different villain for that film. She was just perfect for it.
It's definitely one that like no one knew who Cassandra Nova was going into this.
No.
Like she was a very obscure X-Men villain, and
it was like me and you that we knew how powerful she was in the comics. Other people wouldn't know how powerful she could be, sort of thing. So we knew obviously she was going to be a big bad sort of thing.
Yeah.
But other people coming into it blind now realize, oh no, actually, she could have like really messed stuff up.
Yeah, and especially like at the end when she's absorbing the timeline's power, and they bring it all the way down to 1%, and it's kind of like at that moment you're like, okay, she's gonna do it. She's going to destroy the entire multiverse. I just think they executed her perfectly in this. And then Paradox was kind of a villain too. I'd
say he was like a jokey.
Yeah, he was okay.
Off-cut one sort of thing. It wasn't nothing to worry about with him. That like he was like your comic relief towards Cassandra himself.
Yeah, he was kind of like the more corporate bad guy that's nowhere near as big of a problem as the actual bad guy is. Yeah. And then the whole thing they did with Pyro working for Paradox, that was very interesting. How they did that. How like obviously Pyro is basically Cassandra Nova's right hand like soldier, and in the end he almost kills her, and then they link that Paradox has him spying on her and saying, okay, I can strike now, and then he gives the word to do it. I thought that was very
unusual. I thought it was very unusual. I wasn't expecting one of the little henchmen to sort of betray her sort of thing. I was just thinking that they was going to break free sort of thing. But then when you see it play out with Pyro and Paradox and everything, I'm like, okay, it's different. That's not what I was expecting a lot, but okay, I can take it.
Yeah. Now the big thing that got me really excited is, of course, the whole street fight with the Deadpools coming out. Well, before that, we get all the Deadpools coming out, and then there's Nice Pool coming up to Deadpool, and he's like, hush a little baby, I'll deal with this. And then of course he takes him as the meat shield, and when they're all shooting, he pulls him over, and he's like, okay, how long does it take for you to regenerate? And he's like, regenerate? And then there's that pause, and everyone lost it. They were like, oh shit, Deadpool just killed this guy. And then Wolverine's like, you really are God's perfect idiot, aren't you?
So that whole moment in our cinema when he's obviously taking them out and it's just going on nuts, that sort of thing. The cinema was laughing their heads off, and
then head explodes.
Yeah, and then the whole was like, oh, sort of thing. It sort of erupted in like, oh damn.
And then he pulls them behind the donut cart, and then Wolverine raises the dog, and then they're like, hold your fire. Can't hurt that little puppy. And then Wolverine just walks across looking at them like, yeah, I've got the dog, you can't shoot at me, that kind of thing. And then Wade's trying to resuscitate the body with no head. He's like, damn it, he's dead.
So that bit before as well, when Cassandra's flung them back and they've gone into that shop and that lot, and they come out and he's like,
wait for the extras to move. Wait for the extras. Wait. Okay, now we're good. Jesus Christ, like there's the portal. Like it's like a delayed reaction because the extras were taking too long.
That was so funny.
Yeah, all the different versions of Deadpool that showed up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we knew Baby Pool, Kid Pool, Head Pool, and a Lady Deadpool, but they had so many different versions there. And
a cowboy one, Canada one. You see the Welsh one as well.
Welsh was played by one of the Wrexham players. I don't know his name, but they
Paul Mullin is the striker for Wrexham. He played him and that. Because all throughout the film as well, I was looking for obviously Rob McElhenney, Paul Mullin.
I didn't see Rob. Apparently, he played a TVA
He's got
agent.
his cut.
Sorry?
His thingy got cut. His scene. It actually wasn't in the cinema. It wasn't in the film. Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah, I know. I was gutted for him. Absolutely gutted for him. But it's all come out now saying that McElhenney's scene was actually cut.
Oh, wow. I thought he would have been... Like, obviously we knew he was a TVA agent, and most of them, like, their faces are covered. So I thought he would have been one of the ones when he's got the claws stuck in the butt and then like his dick on the other one and he's pulling them back and forth. I thought he would have been one of them doing the voice for that, because that's something that Ryan Reynolds would be like, oh, you want to be in this movie? Massively. You have to be this guy.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He would definitely do that.
Apparently his is caught. Ollie Palmer's obviously in the bar fights. Well, not bar fights.
So that is him.
The bar scene at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. So that was Ollie Palmer, and then obviously you had Paul Mullen as Welsh Paul. There was expected to be Ben Foster in the film, but by the sounds of it, I can't work out if he actually did get in or not. But he was referenced to have a cameo in it, but he never materialised, sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, all them thingies are Deadpool now, like Canadian Paul, Welsh Paul, Cowboy,
the samurai
like
one, like the Ronin.
Yeah,
there was like a Ronin Deadpool,
like roboty, like Spider-Man looking one. It was
like a futuristic
one.
Really
weird.
And then there was a Scottish one. He had like bagpipes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many, and it was confirmed that Lady Pool was played by Blake Lively. So that, of course.
As soon as the credits come up, I was like, she is. I knew she had to be.
I missed it the first time, and the second time I made sure to check. I was like, okay, yeah, I knew it. And then Matthew McConaughey played the cowboy Deadpool.
Did it? I didn't realize that.
I didn't catch it first, and then afterwards I was like, kind of sounded like him. I might need to go check that, and he did. Nathan Fillion.
I didn't realize that.
Nathan Fillion played Headpool.
Right.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of things. I think that's all the voice ones of the Deadpools that I caught. Because Kid Pool, I had no idea who it was. I thought it would have been the kid from the Adam Project, because like Ryan Reynolds loves working with him. I thought that would have been him, but he sounded like really young to be that kid. So, but yeah, that whole scene, and obviously you get him with the golden pistols. He's like, yeah, I finally got them. I got the golden pistialos or something, and he's like, okay, well, let's go do this. Let's go kill 100 of me's. And then they go out, and then Like a Prayer is playing, like in the trailer.
That panning, just a panning shot, just coming down the street and just watching it. So well done, especially that bus bit as well. It's just so well done. Yeah,
but even before that, like, you get the shot of the, like, where it ends in the trailer, and then Wolverine's arms go up, and I'm like, oh, they're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they did it. It looks so good on him. And then everyone was cheering when that happened. And then I hear a guy in the row in front of me down to my right a little bit. And he's like, that looks so stupid. And I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
no.
Everyone was cheering except for that one guy who was like, that looks so stupid.
No, I say all those lot was cheering their asses off, honestly. The whole cinema just erupted and was like, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
The music did not miss in that last bit of the movie. Like, everything they did with Like a Prayer, I think they had to, because they went to Madonna and said, we're going to use this song. How would you want us to use it? And she told them how to use it. And they made it.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and they made it such an emotional part to the movie at the very end. But yeah, that whole scene when they're just shredding through all of the Deadpools, getting to the end of the street. And then the end shot, and they jump out of the bus, and you get the hero pose, and then Deadpool just flops, and he's like, sorry, stuck the landing. This is the only thing the audience is going to remember from this fight.
Yeah.
And then Peter comes in his costume, and they're all like, wait, Peter? And then they go to him. Every Deadpool
it's like when
they
turn around. It's like when they turn around and then start regenerating and stuff like that. It's like, oh, no.
So I guess these ones... regenerate, and then the baby starts laughing, and they're like, what are you laughing at, little shit, or something like that. There was a second where like they show the baby, and then everyone's like, oh, are they gonna have to kill the baby, like, or are they gonna have to do it? And then obviously they don't, because that would be wrong.
I was thinking he's gonna like punt it or something like that. He's gonna like, kick it miles like, but I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been like, oh dear. Yeah,
they would have maybe got a strike from that one from Disney. But yeah, that whole scene was so well done. Like the action just overall, like the fight choreography when they go to the void for the first time and they're fighting. Oh, I see you got a comment here.
No.
Okay.
The movie was shit. Okay, each to their own, my friend, each to their own.
But yeah, that whole fight at the start when they're in the void, Like, that was so well done. He's like, get your special...
Like, not that bad. Okay, that's all right. We loved it, my friend, so each to their own, my friend, honestly.
But yeah, he says, like, get your special sock out, nerds. This is going to be a good one. And then they go at it, and it was so well done. Like, the way they utilize the camera work, too, when... of course, we see it in the trailer when he's got the gun magazines and he's flipping them and getting them into pistols. But there's the shot when he's getting the katana, and the katana blade is like, if you were watching in 3D, that would be like in your face, and then he pulls it.
Yeah.
And then they do that fight with the claws and the katanas. That was so well done.
So that fight scene in the buses, the people carrier. Was that him going up, and then at the end, obviously, he's tied up with the car seat outlaw sort of thing. Yeah. That fight scene there, Shaney absolutely adored that fight scene. He thought that was one of the best fight scene in the movie sort of thing. Yeah. Yes, we did like the movie. We absolutely adored the movie. So check out the review that I've done myself with my brother, and we both loved it. That fight scene in that bus with the little people carrier, so good in that lot, and it was just so fun. It was like, because when he's hitting the radio as well, you can hear The Greatest Showman in that lot. I was like, that's brilliant.
No, I didn't catch that because I was like, I know it's in the soundtrack, but I was like, when did that show up in the movie? So I didn't realize that was one of the songs that popped on when he was smashing his head in the radio. But leading up to that fight was so good too, because it's just like Wolverine, like. Deadpool's annoying the shit out of Wolverine, and Wolverine just loses it on him. And Deadpool's completely silent, and he's like, I'm going to fight you now. And then Wolverine's like, oh yeah, you're going to fight me, and he punches him in the nose, and then that's just, they go at it. And that would have been one...
That was like another heartfelt scene as well, because they're really talking about the feelings and how they was like really emotional about it, and like...
Yeah.
It wasn't just off the cuff or let's have a fight now. They were really like getting deep into it sort of thing, which was really nice to see. And it was like, that's what caused that fight then. That's why it all went up sort of thing.
He made an educated wish.
Yeah.
But that would have been a huge pain to choreograph that in a minivan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have been, like, insane to plan that out, like, where to move, how to get, like, because Wolverine goes out of the van first, and then Deadpool's thrown out of the van, and then they both go in and out, and it like that would have been so complicated. I just see Rez in this scene. Logan said what I really think about Deadpool. he did not hold back on insulting him, in that he definitely did not.
No,
but
not at all.
That just shows how perfect Hugh Jackman is in the role. Like, Wolverine, at the end of the day, always is so annoyed at Deadpool. Even though they have to work together, and in a way they're friends, but he annoys the shit out of Wolverine all the time. So yeah, that's really all I've got. The music, like we said, was so good. The CGI was really good.
That's another point I was gonna. So that's another point I was gonna get for you, because I love the CGI. I thought the CGI was massively well done. Obviously, Shaney was a bit and ahhing about it, bless him. But I thought it was really well done that lot, and. Like the one bit of CGI that really got me was them holding each other's hands and doing the time thing.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Diffusing that, and it was panning around, and you just see that all the stuff in them and that lot, and how
the
they were
energy
breaking
flowing,
down.
like it's in their veins. You see it in Wolverine's chest and in his shoulders. Like it's really going through them.
Yeah, I thought that was so well done. Yeah, I thought it was really nice.
There were a couple shots. I think it's when they're escaping the compound for the first time, when Eliath shows up. That one kind of looked a little rough when they're getting on the sentinel leg and then it flies away.
The shoot off.
Yeah, that one looked a little rough, but other than that, I think it was really well done for the rest of it.
I think the only bit that I thought looked a bit janky in that lot was obviously like head pool and baby pool and everything. They looked a bit funny in that lot, but I didn't mind that. I thought I gave it a bit of heart in that lot, and it was like, well, it's a Deadpool film. What would you expect out of it? It's going to be a bit daft and wonky and stuff like that sort of thing. So I didn't mind it sort of thing. And I just thought, all in all, just so well done. I really liked it.
Yeah. Like, I gave it a 10 out of 10 both times I saw it. Like, I absolutely loved it.
I said, myself, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I wanted more Cassandra. I just wanted to see more of her sort of thing, because I think she was just a brilliant villain. I just wanted more of her sort of thing. Especially that fight scene where she's controlling Wolverine as well, and and she's trapped him and then goes into his head like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they
cool.
could have done an all-out fight with the two of them on her, but
Yeah.
I think the way they did it, because I think she would have just owned them. Like, she would have just thrown them around the room and done all that. But if they found a way to do it so they could actually fight her in a scene, then that would have been cool. But I was like super happy with it. Like, the amount of heart in it, the dynamic between the two of them, the action, the humor. It's a really well done Deadpool movie, and just one of the best MCU movies in recent years, I think.
Oh, massively. Like I can't remember, like as well when they're all talking to the Deadpools now, and he's like, "Yeah, the multiverse saga's been shit."
I thought it was steadily.
It's not been good.
I think it's been steadily great since Endgame. Rez says 7 out of 10, above average movie. That's good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. And I'm glad you rated it better than my brother. He gave it a 6.5, so I'm glad you rated it better than him. So I'm happy with that.
But yeah, I can't wait to see it again, even though I've seen it basically back-to-back times. But yeah.
Well, what did you think about the end credit scene bit where they're all going through the old Fox bits?
I wasn't expecting them to do that, but watching it, I'm like, this is my childhood right here. Like, this is the movies that I kind of grew up watching, along with the Spider-Man ones, and just how they paid homage to that era of basically the forgotten Marvel movies. Like, everyone knows the X-Men, but like Elektra, Daredevil, Fantastic Four. I'm surprised they actually showed a Fant Four stick. They had 1 or 2 shots of that. But just seeing the whole like behind the scenes footage, just different clips from the movie, and the song.
Green Days.
Yeah, it was so well done. It was like the first viewing, when it ended and it has the 20th Century Fox logo. Everyone was laughing at that like it was a humorous moment, and I was like, I don't think you're supposed to laugh at that.
No, I didn't.
And then the second viewing, people were cheering when it came up. Like, yeah, this is the honor of that franchise, that universe, and that's it.
That montage and that music, that's what got me. That's where I finally cried, because I just seen it all flood in front of me, and I was like, yeah, this is like 20 odd years of my bleeding life. That is just seeing it all there, and it really got to me in that lot. And I was gone. Shaney wanted to go toilet, and I was like, look, you stay to the end of these credit scenes. We do not leave the cinema until this finish is finally done. And he's like, well, I've got to go loose. So I let him go toilet in that lot. And then Green Day come up, and it just come up, and I was gone. I was absolutely gone. And I was like, and then it just finished when Shaney come back from the loo, and he's like, "You've been crying?" I'm like, no, I've not been crying at all. No, I'm fine. No, I'm all right.
Yeah, the only moment that got me was when they're absorbing the energy's core, and they're going through each other's minds. Like, this is what makes, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm trying to prove. Just that moment was so well done. That's what got me. That
nearly got me. Yeah, no, that nearly got me. I wasn't just about rolling my eyes out yet, but I was near there. Especially if I found out they was dead, then I would have just gone, sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've got to talk about the movie. We've gone through a lot. Obviously, it's a lot to unpack, but I think we covered pretty much all that we can, and the main things to talk about. So yeah, I don't know if you want to end it off there and say anything else to cap it off.
No, I'm all good with that, my friend. Fantastic film, and can't wait for some more Deadpool and Wolverine in something or other, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we see them sooner than later, and hopefully we get Wolverine in another comic suit instead of black leather.
Oh, massively.
Because I think now that Marvel has him, they're going to say, from now on, he wears the iconic suits.
Massively.
So
massively
that is our spoiler review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, if anyone was watching or is currently watching, thank you for joining the chat and participating. I know we got Rez here. I know you had someone on yours. So thank you to anyone for joining. Make sure to check out both our channels for more content. I know you have your spoiler review of Deadpool. I haven't done one myself just because of time. I don't know if I'll get around to doing my own, but
Bless you.
at least I did an initial spoiler-free review. I did that, so if you want to see the spoiler-free, then I have that. And then, yeah, that's basically all I've got for Deadpool. Do you have anything else coming up on your channel at some point soon?
Right, so I've got the San Diego Comic Con reaction for myself up on the channel today, and then on Wednesday we'll have some more Fortnite with myself and Eddie Sapboy Shane, where we're trying to get that sodding W. It'll come eventually. I've got it at solos. I might just have to do a solos game or something like that, because I could do it myself, but working everybody else, I'm just shit. And then obviously this Friday we've got my GM mode before SummerSlam comes up, so we'll have some more WWE, Marvel versus DC, WCW versus ECW and that lot. So yeah, nice packed week.
Yeah, it's nice. You mentioned San Diego Comic-Con and what Marvel had. I think that's safe to say that'll be the next one we do.
Massively.
We'll let everyone know when that's happening. Hopefully it's sooner than later, so it's still relevant. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. It was great talking about this movie and getting to see it. Finally, like it's been a journey getting here, but it's finally here and we've seen it, and it was really great. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.
Yeah, see you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.